In the mid to late 1980s, instrumental acoustic music that wasn't strictly jazz, classical, rock, or folk was given the label New Age. One Alternative found its music stamped at times with this labeling, for better or worse. The New Age phenomena was growing by leaps and bounds, and many saw this as an opportunity to cash in. This brings us to a business relationship that One Alternative entered into with management company out of Minneapolis, Minnesota called Twin City Talent, and a record CD company from Los Angeles, California called Tall Tree Records. Twin City took over the management of One Alternative and arranged a record deal with Tall Tree. We had new music to record, so through Tall Tree we released our third album, Shadows, in the spring of 1990. The cover is the yin-yang oboe and guitar emblem, psychedelicized by my friend and artist Lisa Zader. Once again, we returned to Widener University's facilities with the same formula of trio music plus a few tunes with added bass and drums. Lou Abbott returned as our drummer. We recorded from February through May, logging in 158.5 hours at a cost of almost $8,000 that Tall Tree partly bankrolled. Also through Tall Tree, Take Note was released globally. Plus, we joined David Cullen and two other Tall Tree artists on a Christmas music CD sampler called A Tall Tree Christmas. We were hoping for more performance opportunities through Twin City. Unfortunately, we received only one, but a nice one at that. We played in Orlando, Florida as part of the Garden Concert Series. Our flight and hotel rooms were paid for, and we got to experience some warm weather in November. But that was about it, and within a year, both Twin City and Tall Tree went out of business. We were released from all contracts, retained 100% control of our publishing, and went back to doing what we did as before. A very important and long-lasting professional friendship began when One Alternative was asked to appear on one of the first Echoes Living Room concerts. Echoes is a syndicated music radio program that began in 1989 with host John DiLiberto, executive producer Kim Haas, and producer Jeff Town. From 1990 through most of 1992, One Alternative played numerous dates in the Philadelphia area. The music scene was changing and becoming a bit more conservative artistically, leaving less avenues for a non-traditional music group such as One Alternative to expand its audience. The dreams of going on tour and making a living with our music were beginning to fade. On a positive note, a most memorable One Alternative event occurred when Jill and I opened for instrumental fusion band the Dixie Dregs on October the 10th, 1992. The Chestnut Cabaret, again, was the venue for this opportunity. I'd been calling Greg Mountain of the Cabaret numerous times over a period of years to ask for the chance to open for the Dregs. Finally, he succumbed to my relentless persistence. The only problem was that the trio was in another phase of personal change, and we decided to play the special date as a duo. And it turned out to be a super night. The Dixie Dregs and their crew were very friendly towards us. The audience was fabulous during our two shows, and to top off the evening, I got my Free Fall album signed and had my picture taken with the Dregs' Steve Morse. I felt on top of the world. Now for a third time, Jill and I were looking for a replacement guitarist. So I thought, how about Len? This time when I asked Len to join, he said yes. Now we had the musician we needed to make this group reach its potential. Starting in 1993, we gigged with Len all over the area. A new avenue for us was playing at colleges and universities, including Rutgers, Bryn Mawr College, Penn State, and Villanova, to name a few. Colleges took a lot of work to book, but these gigs could be pretty lucrative. During the years 1994 and 95, we kept at it, playing away as much as possible. The most high-profile gigs were opening for Acoustic Alchemy at the TLA on South Street. That was in October of 1994, and we played at Penn's Landing in July of 1995. From 1993 through 96, we were also writing new music. I decided to demo the guitars on a multi-track cassette recorder. The sound turned out so well that we used the demos as the final recording. The oboe, however, was more difficult to get a warm and balanced sound on tape, so we returned to Widener and had John Venor put it all together. The result was our fourth release called Yet to Be. This was a purely trio album sans the drums and bass. Reviews were optimistically affirmative, including John Takeoff's write-up in the Philadelphia Daily News. Also in 1996, Musician magazine ran a Best of the Unsigned Band competition, where One Alternative, based on the Yet to Be CD, placed in the top 2% out of 3,000 entries. At the end of the year, Echoes placed Yet to Be on its 25 essential CD releases of 1996. 1997 brought our third appearance in the Echoes living room. One of the pieces we played, called Sienna, was chosen to be on Volume 3 of the Echoes Living Room Concerts CD series. In the latter part of 1997, it came to my attention through John Venor that there was an internet-only CD label called Jaybird Records that was offering a great deal. It was suggested by John that we take advantage of this opportunity to re-release music from our past 4 recordings in a compilation CD. I had just acquired a Martin 12-string guitar that was the initial inspiration for a piece that Jill and I collaborated on called Changes. This new piece became the title of our Jaybird CD release. Changes cost a total of just $1,500, and it allowed One Alternative's music to be reintroduced to listeners. Just before the release of Changes, another drugs-related gig popped up. On April 23, 1998, One Alternative opened for the Steve Morse Band at the TLA. This time, we had the trio. A lot of musical energy was released that evening. The audience, who was there to see an electric rock trio, very much enjoyed our acoustic presentation. It was the only time I remember having our name in gigantic letters on a marquee. This time, both Len and I got a picture with Steve Morse. In May, Changes was released. Jaybird did some publicity to help promote it. The CD was reviewed, and the consensus was, as Acoustic Guitar Magazine put it, first-rate and thoroughly enjoyable. At this point, being able to have the freedom to do one's own music on one's own terms was success.